One enemy remaining. Me.
Hello everybody and welcome to day 2 of the VCT Verizon Game Changers. After yesterday's jam-packed action, we'll be bringing you the semi-finals today. I'm your host Yingsu, and as you guys can see, I'm joined by two lovely ladies on the desk today. It is Miss Harvey and Evil Cat. Thank you both for joining me. Right off the bat, Mimi, great to be on the A stream, isn't it?
Yes, feels good. We're bumping up today, and I'm super excited because we have some great games on hand.
And Steph, you know what's going on. You're very familiar with the tournament. What are you most excited about today?
I'm not gonna lie, casting CLG versus Moon Raccoon is gonna be quite a very interesting game. It's a rematch from the last VALORANT event, so I'm very, very excited to see who's gonna take that one.
Oh yeah. I think this is going to be definitely a lot closer than some of the games we saw yesterday. But before we get into that, we wouldn't be here, of course, without the Game Changers initiative. Game Changers is designed to provide experience and a spotlight to elevate the women in the VALORANT competitive community. Competing in games as a woman can be a daunting task, often resulting in a very real competitive disadvantage. Starting this month, the Game Changer series and the Game Changers Academy will create a whole new set of competitions with the goal of building the VALORANT Champions Tour that better represent the diversity of our community. Amen. The VCT Game Changer series will be a set of top-tier tournaments with large prizes on the line for the best performing teams. These competitions will take place all over the world, with the first one, of course, as you guys know, starting this weekend right here in North America. Woo, I can breathe.
Yeah.
But Steph, talk to us just quickly about how important, this really is for the grand scheme of things in VALORANT.
Yeah, I mentioned it quite a few times on the B stream yesterday, but this is the first time in my experience over 20 years in esports that, any video game development company really supports diversity the way that Riot is doing it right now, which means people are showing up. So many teams in NA registered to the qualifier, and we have really an intense top 8 this weekend, because it's quite frankly important to encourage diversity for a better community. Just overall, you learn so much for having different people from different background communities within your game, and hopefully I think it's going to elevate the whole development of VALORANT with potentially new tools to support diversity inside the game, and that's what I'm looking for, and super happy that the dev team is talking about it.
Maybe anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, like Steph said, she's been in this for 20 years. She's been doing esports and been involved with this longer than I've been alive. But I think that initiative like this is just really cool, because there's so little official support for women in esports, and I think it's a great opportunity. Because it's not just about just being a female tournament. It's about giving these girls opportunities to show themselves. Because there's lots of players that we've heard of who have come over from other games, but there's also all these new people that are brand new in the scene that are proving themselves, and I can imagine can only do great things going forward.
For the record, Steph, you don't look a day over 18, so yeah, it's
okay. Yeah, well, that's about right.
Well, now we had some pretty intense games yesterday, especially in the lower bracket. I know you guys were on the B stream, so talk me through what happened there. Mimi, I'll go to you first, and what was your takeaway from yesterday's games?
Sure. I mean, so we started it off with TSM versus Dig, which was just a crazy matchup. We saw all 3 maps. Every single one was within a 3-round gap of each other, and that got really close. Then the second game up too was a pretty big one. We saw some eliminations at the end of yesterday, but still, I think what was going on was some teams really showed that they were up to play. Dignitas especially, I was impressed. I thought that TSM might have had the edge going into that game, as we see here, but just by a narrow edge. I think their consistency and how well they could just keep it going throughout the whole series really pushed them ahead, and I'm excited to see what they can do coming into this upper bracket still.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of ups and downs. I'm going to say some teams impressed me. Some teams actually kind of were on the lower side. I have to give props to TSM as well as O Well, I know they're both in the lower bracket, but they just really impressed me. I didn't even think they were going to be that strong versus teams like CLG Red as well as Dignitas coming in. And I have to say on the flip side, Dignitas and CLG Red, like, you know, won their BO3 by the limit. I'm not that impressed with the way that they played in during the weekend. But as I mentioned all the time, whenever I talk about Dignitas, they are a end of bracket tournament, but today they're gonna face a really tough opponent on the B stream. That C9 team is gonna be a rough one.
Well, talking about that C9 team, Steph, while I'm with you, they're sort of proving themselves to be the one to beat, right? Do you still feel like they probably will be the team that end up taking it all, unless there is a bit of an upset?
Yeah, everyone that's watching this tournament has to be really just putting their eggs into the C9 white basket. If C9 doesn't win this tournament, for me, it's an upset. It's a disappointment. They've just been ahead. They've been practicing as a team for way longer than everyone else. They've been competing at a pretty high level, like tier 2, practicing versus tier 2 teams, and they're just better at the moment, right? And it's not to say that the other teams aren't good or can't get there. They just have more time behind the computer and the screen as a squad, and there's just more depth. All of these other teams right now do not have depth, and they've never been put in situation to need that depth before. So they can only be disappointment from C9. They either going to confirm their supremacy with this event or fail to live up to the expectations. So it's a dangerous position to be in, but at the same time, it's looking great for them in this tournament so far with really phenomenal score lines. Like we're talking like 13-0, 13-2, 13-1. So yeah, they're doing a tremendous amount of work right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for C9, especially after kind of going to the 6-player roster, bringing in Katie on a more full-time basis, being able to have that flexibility to switch out players between maps, to always have someone who's ready to find that impact. They really are the team to beat. And I think the sentiment that Steph said, where if they don't win this, I think everyone will be surprised, and I would too, but I still think there's some contenders, especially like the two teams we're seeing here today. I don't know if they're up to C9's level yet, but I think like both CLG and Moon Raccoons, from what we've seen from them so far, even though they're these younger teams, for how little time they've had to practice as these set pairs of 5, I think it's really impressive.
Well, fortunately for them, they don't have to worry about C9 White just yet. And as you guys can see from the schedule, CLG Red will be taking on Moon Raccoons first. And then we're going to be bringing you guys a lower bracket game after that. Let's just talk about the first matchup. You know, this is a bit of an anticipated matchup here. Steph, talk me through, the history between these two teams.
Yeah, so this is a good one because Moon Raccoon and CLG Red played each other in the VALORANT tournament, the last big women event in NA, and Moon Raccoon came out victorious of the whole tournament. Obviously, Dignitas and Cloud9 were not in a tournament, and TSM wasn't formed then, so there's not a lot of data when it comes to the bigger picture, but in a tournament format, they did beat CLG before. It was a slightly different roster, and a slightly less experienced CLG at the time, but still, if you look at the odds on all the websites about Valorant right now, a lot of people are betting on Moon Raccoon. I don't know why my brain always goes to Maroon 5. I'm sorry, I have to pause every time, but Moon Raccoon Black. One thing to note though is CLG Red as players, I would assume, with a little bit more experience. So in really tense situation, like a tournament like this big of a scale, I expect players like Benita, like Naomi, who's been on stages before in front of crowds, to be potentially showing up today versus a little bit of I wouldn't say newer player, but maybe you know more about Moon Raccoon than I do. So why don't you talk a bit about their experience?
So like you said, a lot of these Moon Raccoon girls in different, like very similar though, iterations of this roster have played in VALORANT events, but this is the first time we're seeing them in one of these bigger ticket items. Like you mentioned, under a different banner, but practically the same players, barring one switch out. That core 4, they just took home that win at VALORANT. And I think that, well, both of these teams, the general thing is there's some players on them that are experienced. You talked about Benita, who's done a lot before, been on teams before in Counter-Strike and in this game. But I think that the general thing is both these teams have something to prove because they're fresh rosters. They're rosters that people have high expectations for, and there's a lot of unknown in this matchup.
Well, you guys have both mentioned Benita a little bit. We do have a bit of a stat, I guess, head-to-head that I want to show you guys. You know, right off the bat, Mimi, looking at this between these two players, what kind of stands out to you?
Sure. I mean, so talking about Benita, as we already brought her up a little bit, she's kind of the center of this team. She's the IGL, she's the team captain, she's kind of the player that this CLG roster was built around. She's normally playing on the Sova. We occasionally see her over on the Reyna, but while she's calling and also kind of being like the support phone for this team, she also has really big impact in the server in terms of an individual level. And for the other side, for Moon Raccoons, I want to talk about Lori. She's kind of their Jet Raze player, that kind of traditional AWPer who's very aggressive, who's finding a lot of impact. And I think that when you have a player like that could really just kind of pop off at a moment's notice, especially for Moon Raccoons, I think they tend to AWP a little bit more than we've seen out of CLG, and that might be an X factor, especially if Lori's having a good one.
Yeah, I want to double down. Sorry, I want to double down on Benita real quick. I like Irby on Sova because she's the IGL. She's the one that makes the play with the information. So she does something really aggro. We've seen her utilize her Hunter Street really well with the girls, even in times where they were down. You remember yesterday on third map versus Oa, they were down 0-7 before coming back and winning that game into overtime. And it's, you know, it's the cool, calm, collected team. It's probably their biggest strength, where the core four is so calm. Like, it's actually weirdly calm when they play, that it doesn't really matter the score line. So today, even if they're down versus Moon Raccoon early in the game, I would never count them out just because they have a fierce leader like Benita on the Sova behind them.
I mean, since we have an acronym for CLG, should we just call Moon Raccoon Black MRB? So you're not going to get that like Maroon 5, like Adam Levine in your head whenever we talk about his team.
Yeah, the team dancing, you know, that's all I can think about.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to picks and bans, because this is going to be very interesting. So if I know, you know, before we went live, you were telling me you had some slight concerns when it comes to map pools, and now we see the picks and bans, which is Bind, Split, and Haven. Do you feel like this is going to favor one team perhaps over another?
So we got a little bit of a surprise here if we look at the picks and ban. Like, you know, CLG Red just doesn't play Bind at all. So we don't have a lot of data when it comes to that, at least during the qualifiers and this tournament. So they left it open, and they probably knew that Moon Raccoon was going to pick it. So they have something in their pockets that we're not sure what it's looking like. Because on paper, I really thought CLG Red was going to win this veto, just because Moon Raccoon doesn't play 2-map. They don't play Split a lot, and they also don't play Icebox a lot. So leaving Bind open is interesting. I don't know if CLG Red is overthinking this, and if it just should have banned it and went for the maps that Moon Raccoon just doesn't play. You know, we're gonna be able to talk about this after at least the first game, once we see the score line, because that might be CLG trying to say, oh, we're gonna pull something on them, and in the end it might be shooting themselves in the foot.
I mean, I see if Moon Raccoons can pick up Bind, they're going to set themselves in a good position, because they're a really great Bind team. And CLG, like you mentioned, this is their first time playing it in an official, so we don't know what they're going to bring out. And there's always that surprise factor. Maybe they have some cool strat set up for it, so that's that unknown quantity. But say that doesn't work out. Say MRB is still proving themselves in that way. I'm a little bit nervous about this to see what CLG can show. And if they don't pick up Bind, it's going to be interesting.
I feel like the Ascent ban, which did come from CLG, probably has a lot to do with what happened yesterday. You know, 13-1, losing on it. I don't know how much time they have to sort of turn things around and work on it. But Mimi, you're a fan of Astra. Given that we don't really know what they're going to pull out on this map, are we maybe kind of expecting an Astra? Or at least do you feel like they should pull out something like the Astra on Bind?
I don't know. I really wouldn't be surprised if they did, because I think that they're trying to pull out a surprise card in some way here. They're trying to catch the Moon Raccoons off guard, and I think pulling out an Astra might be that. Most of these teams probably haven't had a whole ton of time to scrim either with or against Astra as a character, so there's so much creativity we can still find with her, and especially on a map like Bind, where it's all the close corners, all these kind of close quarters where there's raises and things. You can combo utility with the gravity well a lot, and also like the idea of Bind Bind being a map that's very rotation heavy because of those teleporters, because of moving around at all times, being able to sell fakes really well with the smokes is huge.
Well, we don't have to wait much longer. Thank you very much, you two. I'm going to leave everything in the very capable hands of Mimi and Steph to take us through map 1.
Yeah, I mean, so Steph, looking at this, no Astra. I'm a little disappointed about that because
it's not happening.
This feels standard. this feels pretty bog standard for both these teams, unless we maybe get that Sky pick, but I don't really expect it here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, even though Astra, I know CLG tried playing with it a little bit. Rise went on the Astra in practice, but Benita confirmed in the interview yesterday that, it wasn't working. There wasn't enough time for them to get familiar with it. So they just decided to skip it. But, nothing really surprising on the CLG Reds agents pick here. If we look at Benita, Rise, Naomi, and Animal, it's just a matter of, is Shobo gonna play Raze or Jet? So that's pretty much a question. I want her to go on a Raze on Bind, especially since she says it herself she doesn't like Jet, and I don't think she's bad on it. I just think, when a player doesn't like a character, it's just, go for the one that you feel comfortable with. But what about Moon Raccoon? Anything surprising to you here?
I mean, not really. This is what we have seen from them repeatedly. We talk about Diane. She's on that Phoenix. She's normally kind of floating on the Phoenix or the Reyna sometimes. But Lori, not on the Jet for this. I think most teams lack the Jet. Will rock with Raze for this map because, like I was talking about a little bit in the way of in the way of combos with Astra, but on her own too. Raze really powerful here. So nothing is really surprising, and that makes me wonder, what is CLG trying to pull out here? Because if it's not some weird comp to catch the Moon Raccoons off guard, what is it that made them feel confident enough to come here to Bind?
That's a very good question, and as an insider on these girls, since I'm friends with them, I don't even know what to say. It's possible that they started playing Bind and felt more comfortable with it with Animal. Animal has a really strong Sage, and it could be the key factor here. Yesterday she did tremendous work, especially in overtime onto Heaven versus Owa. So maybe because she really feels comfortable on this map, and then you can utilize her wall really well all across the map. They were like, you know what, this time we can have a really solid Bind. But as I say this, we're going to be live on the first map of today. This is the VCT Verizon Game Changer. My name is Miss RV, and I'm joined with Evil Cat. Guys, let's start this game with a beautiful play-by-play by Mimi.
Thank you. But I mean, we see him. You gotta hype me off the bit. But we see him kind of postured towards this B side. It is the 3-stack in play for CLG, and they're rocking with the Cypher over the Killjoy. And I saw this on stream yesterday. What is Diane's crosshair? A little funky.
I know. I just saw that. I'm gonna ignore it, but then you bring it up.
Gotta talk about it, but let's focus on the game. Into the B site immediately, and CLG breaks that really focus that information behind Kamini, and just it's all coming up CLG. He's left alone, does find one before she's fell.
The traps from Cypher were perfect. Her cages, the way Naomi played this, she set her team up for all the kills. Benita got a double, but you were watching what we were watching. The enemies you were killing were highlighted, but all of Cypher's utility here. Wow, what a hold. No one really, Monica was just never in that round. They just never were able to do anything. That one kill is actually surprising. So not much to say, but just a clean hold here by Naomi and the team.
Yeah, I really like the play from them, and I mean they have a similar setup. Notice how they change the trips this time. They switch it around. Yep. They're always ready for something new. And in the term of the CLG comp, they're also rocking with the Sage. So this double Sentinel setup working well, but for the Moon Raccoons, they're starting to head their way with a 5-woman shower setup.
And the Moon Raccoon is taking it slow. They're going to try to go for a spike plant here. Didn't really invest much. Still see a lot of classics in play. It's all going to be up to Shobo and Animal to kind of delay that spike plant. Not getting to the site yet as kills are, or not kills, but shots are being exchanged. But look at this mini map here. All of Moon Raccoon, except Lori, is running away. So CLG Red doing enough damage and enough want to say, push back for the whole team to be running. But that's not really a good situation for Moon Raccoon to be in, because Naomi is at B and she's ready with all her traps, Mimi.
Yeah, and I mean, Naomi, the player, isn't on the site, but her utility is still there to be contentious. You see the camera there, I could spot it out. Rise is set up with the paranoia here, and this is perfect for Bonita to play up, swing up. Paranoia is great. Rise instead is finding the frags, pick up 2, and Shobo now for that last one. And with that, it is Itnan Han just getting executed in Octagon. So CLG, that's a pretty safe anti-eco, and they'll go up 2-0.
Duo clean again. Yesterday we saw a lot more kind of unclean situations for CLG Red to be in, where they were losing a couple of players and their economy was hurt really early. But we're looking at this, only Bonita is short in cash for round number 3. It's gonna be a freebie round slightly because they don't have to invest much, so they're most likely, no matter the outcome of this round, will be able to buy for next. But Moon Raccoon is ready with all of their firepower. Let's see what they have in store for us. Looks like it's more like a default here. Trying to push back CLG's push, especially towards Shower here. Shobo is trying to make a play, but I can't get over this crosshair. How are we gonna cast this game?
I don't know, Steph. It's kind of it's a distraction. Like, this is I don't know how to deal with it. Like, Chobo, that's more normal. I appreciate that, but it's pretty slow here for the Moon Raccoons. They're just kind of working on this A split. The Shower's control though is big. Lots of space for them to work with.
Yeah, Shobo here trying to win some time here and gather some intel. This is where Moon Raccoon is getting ready for a hit here, but they're going to be stopped by some dark cover. Shobo, though, is going to be the first one falling, and they're already in the site getting ready for a spike plant.
Yeah, great space taken, and now they'll have that down. Here comes the Hunter's Fury, though. It could nullify, and it will knock him off the plant for a moment. Still, time to work with, and Diane still in the back site for one. Immediately traded, though, out by Rise. And Animal now in a great spot. CLG, they're down a woman. She spots out one, but on the swing, Animal still gets it. Now she has information that at least one is short, and Rise taps the spike. Animal still finding impact. And a third for the Sage, looking for a 4K in the round, and she'll pick it up.
Wow, we talked about how much impact Animal had yesterday, but look at this once again, coming in big. Keeping that U-All control was so huge, and just the way that she was kind of playing around back and forth with her friends towards Truck, really poking pride in everything that she did in that round. Props to her, from the fact that she didn't overpeak, that she took her time. She took her time to reload, cover her friends, trade. I'm very impressed. We haven't seen much of Animal Pride this tournament, but you know, if she can pull out these big rounds like that for CLG, this team is looking a lot better today than they were yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking really good. And remember, Steph, that was also just a bonus round. That was one where the Moon Raccoons had the advantage in terms of weaponry.
Yeah.
Animal, though, I mean, she's always a threat. And look at the setup. I love this. They're using the wall to farm for the orb, but look how quickly they're up into U-Haul. Chobo through the smoke, trying to pop away, and she'll pick up one. That's a spike felled, but Animal takes some flack before she again regains her position. Look where the Moon Raccoons are. They're all trapped into lamps in this one situation.
Bonita here trying to have some impact as she teleports at the same time. Oh, this is chaotic. That teleport here, but Laurie coming out on top, but Rise is here following up Diana all by her lonesome. She's gonna get one, can't connect with the second, and this is CLG putting 4 round up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's a really great roundup from CLG. It was just the anti-eco, but I thought that the idea the Moon Raccoons had there was cool. Use that flame wall to get the control of lamps and then try and get some frags through it before leaving. But the thing is that they pulled the rotations, yeah, but there was someone right in their backline, straight through the teleporter for big impact there from Bonita. And now again, it's a buy up for the Moon Raccoons to attempt to reply.
Yeah, we have a full buy, like you mentioned. CLG, though, still looking great on the economy. Not a lot of players are dying everyone, so this is going to pay off at some point, I'm sure. But another slow default from Moon Raccoon. All 5 of their players are spread out. They're waiting for a CLG red push, and Shobo is trying to make something happen towards bathroom once again, towards shower. But she's going to have to give it up, leaving the orbs to be taken. to Moon Raccoon. It looks like we're just gonna go again into some kind of A execute here. They really haven't challenged anything towards B, which allows CLG to just play with one person. They're not even contesting the hookah, Mimi.
No, they're not really fighting for this too much. We see that there's still some good space gained for the Moon Raccoons, and if we look at the setup from CLG Red, practically everyone's towards this A site. However, Cypher still on the scene, both Sentinels ready to defend B here.
And this time, Moon Raccoon is just looking like they want to do a full-on execute, utilizing the running back here as Diana is getting into the site. She spots Naomi. She tries to finish her. She's going to be successful. And the rest of Moon Raccoon is jumping into the site. Trying to exchange some kills, but Shobo with the double, Mimi.
Yeah, backside for 2, and now Benita, she's adding in as well. Not Han towards long, finds one before the dark cover will cut her off, but a great paint shells is keeping her out of this. 10 seconds to work with, and she's going to be relegated into this save to hold on to her weapon for the moment. So now CLG, they're up 5-0.
Yeah, and it's quite impressive how CLG was able to recover from that round, right? Right after Naomi died, you would have expected like all the cards to fall for CLG and Moon Raccoon to be in a really good position to capitalize on that. But out of nowhere, Shobo, who was in bathroom, remember, she was in shower really early. So I don't know what the intel happened. I couldn't see on the minimap. I wasn't really looking while the action was happening, but the rotate happened so fast. Moon Raccoon hasn't done any fakes. They're just going 5 men together, 5 women, excuse me, together somewhere. So maybe that's something that CLG Red or Moon Raccoon should recognize here, where okay, maybe we're being a little bit too telegraphed here. The stress, the nerves are hitting, and we're just so tense. We're not playing loose enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point to bring up because remember, Moon Raccoons, they're a pretty new team. Most of these girls haven't been seasoned in tournaments this large. They don't really have that experience. So the mental game is definitely going to be important. Looks like we might be on a bit of a pause for a second. I'm guessing it's probably attack for MRB because they need to reset here and pick a round up soon.
Yeah, in Valorant, rounds go so fast. If you're new to Valorant, guys, and you've been watching a lot of CSGO, you say usually take your pause around 5-0, 6-0. Well, in Valorant, it's even more crucial to do that because you only have 12 rounds and a half to get these pauses. So you want to take them and break that momentum as early as you can because you don't want a team to run away with a half, like 12-0. That's almost impossible to come back from.
Yeah, and I mean, look at what CLG is doing here. They farmed both orbs, and they've consistently been farming them, so they always have ults up for every hit. And the Moon Raccoons, they've been on the back foot for that. Now out into short, Rise trying to take the fight. Here comes the Hunter's Fury from Benita. Nothing connecting, but she will push them back still. And the Moon Raccoons, they've taken some flack, but no space gained as a result. Lori, she's the player to watch in this. Someone who needs to be hitting her shots, finding her impact. Peeking up, and again, the Moon Raccoons disengage for a moment.
Really good utility usage here. CLG is just shading back to back between all 3 players here, from Sova to Raze to even Animal, dropping that slow orb right after the paint shell. So I really like CLG here. The communication is really on point. This is really impressive stuff, coming in so strong that early today. They woke up and they definitely did something right, because yesterday, as I recall, it was a different story.
Yeah, and now just 30 seconds left, a little less at this point. Benita's position here is so important. If she goes unchecked, she could go huge. The first frag more presenting. That's 2 for Benita, but she still wastes so much time. Just 10 seconds to get on the site for the Moon Raccoons. They'll start to flood in, but CLG's already here. They still need this spike down, and Rise takes the plant to the ground, and Animal will find the rest.
Animal with the double again. I said it again, but I have to say it one more time, Mimi. Moon Raccoon right now is telegraphed. CLG is not letting them get ready to do any execute. They're disrupting a lot of what's going on. And even when Moon Raccoon is able to get into an execute, CLG's defense is really a tough wall that Moon Raccoon hasn't found the solution for. I'm looking at our rounds right now. We have 1 defuse. Everything else has been ended right before that. So Moon Raccoon is just not making to the bomb sites.
Yeah, and it feels like now at this point they're playing too slow, too passive. The
Yeah.
curveball's up. Diane's trying to fight for this. Benita in close. She can't see a thing. And Diane capitalizes. Finally an opening pick for the Moon Raccoons. And now they'll come on to the site. Another frag onto Animal. Rise is still in the elbow. She's already gotten one. Is looking for more, trying to spam through the wall. But for one, Steph, the Moon Raccoons have the site, and they have ults to work with in the post. Look where Chobo is, up a flank. She's seen by the turret, so Benita should be ready. Or I'm sorry, that's it, not Han rather, but Chobo. Just quicker for two for Chobo. Now, just one player, that's two actually for the Moon Raccoons. Lori on the site trying to fight. A showstopper available, Flowerful gets one, and it's just Chobo left. Where's the elbow? Being passive, the showstopper reveals she's not in the pocket. Still, the time is of the essence. Taking away with this crossfire. She is damaged. Taking the vulnerability from the alarm bot to tap on the spiked Chobo. Holding for this peek. It comes. She's in for three, but Lori has the trade.
This was the first time that Moon Raccoon kind of let loose that entry frag with the Phoenix, catching CLG off guard. They were not ready in a crossfire this time, and they lost their 1v1 battles, both in the site and both, and also towards Octagon. And this was really key here from Moon Raccoon. Maybe this is the kind of pacing they need to focus on instead of taking things slow, instead of trying to do something coordinate. You're playing versus a team that's not that much prepared, not as much like pretty much on the same level as you. So catching them off guard with these quick moves, these quick plays really could be key here for Moon Raccoon.
Yeah, it could be that op now in play for CLG Red, and Lori fights them away immediately. Animal forced to fall back, so finally they're finding good map control early on, not waiting for it. And Diane, she wants to fight. She's ready for it. That's Benita, though, with the op. However, the teleport just has to be canceled, and Benita's still a factor in the site. Shots towards long. The orb will be grabbed. MRB, they don't have to engage quite yet here, but they still can with the Killjoy lockdown. I don't even know how that didn't hit. So close, but it not. Han finds it now out onto the site. Lori, another entry, and she's up and over the top for another. Lori, she's feeling it now, ready to fight, but Chobo, she's always on this flank. Always prepared with paint shells. She spots out one, but can't connect a frag. And Benini will find the plant. Animal now dead in the backlines. And again, it's left to Chobo. She couldn't muster last time. This time even harder in the 1v4. Out of the dark cover, finds the first, a second for Chobo, and she's looking for more. However, Molly on her position, she's forced to fight, forced out, eating so much damage. Her position revealed. So tough to work with here. Looking into the backline though, again, the turret. We'll see it. Panini, when will she look? Will she be ready for Chobo's position? It looks like she suspects it, but when? Chobo peek. The time just not on her side. Nothing in her favor. Panini ready for it, but turns away. Chobo for three. There just isn't enough time for her to work with.
You know, CLG might have lost this, but what a tremendous work from Chobo. She was in a 1 versus 4, able to kill 3 out of Moon Raccoon Black, which is gonna be really important at the end of this half. We've mentioned how CLG's economy allow them to buy 3 rounds in a row now, even after losing 2. So it's all because they didn't lose a lot of players earlier. But, you know, these Moon Raccoon Black players are starting to get that confidence. We were mentioning how stiff they were. And this is where you saw that round, the last 2 rounds actually, were, you know what, let's just let loose. Let's just do kind of whatever. They didn't really have a plan coming in, and it worked out for them.
Yeah, but look what Chobo's doing here. She's bought so much space for the team with the showstopper, and she's running. She wants a pick with this, but now she's trapped in a tough spot. 1 to her left. She's not ready for Lori, but Naomi's also pushing. Finds a refrag. Now it's into this 4-on-4. Everyone will disengage for the moment. However, I'd like to think that the Moon Raccoons, they can take that favorably with a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, I always, when it's a 4v4, I always give it on the attacker's side. It's always a better situation to be in because you know both bomb sides are weaker. There's only 2 players somewhere. So it's 2 versus 4. And it's exactly what's happening here at A, as Moon Raccoon is going to go all in with that flash from Diana, and she's gaining some space for her team. So let's see if this time Animal can keep control of Fuel. No, she's going to fall in the hands of Lori.
Hunter's Fury, though, this is a huge factor in this, but it doesn't connect. Now the plant should be able to come down safely. Benita, a little early on that, rise up in the heavens. This time, there's no flank up, but the frag's good for the first from Naomi. Trade available. They're still trying to fight this. Rise finds Diana. Now it's just left onto Benita. You know, she's in the back lines, but a recon dart available. Isolated in the showers, but they can swing off each other's contact. Out comes Benita, a little too wide without her weapon ready. And the Moon Raccoons now, they seem to have found footing, Steph.
Yeah, and this is a round potentially CLG Red might have to be on the lower buy. It looks like two of them slightly committed to upgrading. So, no, we're going to commit here, but we have Animal on a Shadi. Okay. For me right now, this is a crucial round. CLG Red has not been able to adapt to the Moon Raccoon kind of loose entry frags, especially that Phoenix. Diana is doing a lot of work getting that spacing that Moon Raccoon was needed to get in, and just really telling her team, loosen up, follow me. I'm gonna get that entry frag like I did earlier at B, but this time you better be ready with me and trade these kills.
Yeah, this time the Moon Raccoons are up towards B, and they're going quickly again. Diane up, but ready for Animal. Shobo gets rid of one. So again, this is a 4-on-4, but what MRB is doing well is that when they have this vantage, they disengage and they re-attack. This time it's towards A, the spike there, and so is one lurker. It's the raised, but Lori will likely join her team soon. See the positioning of one player in short, but Benina's holding the line with the op here. They peek it. It's gonna be tough. She eludes the flash, but the turret eats the shot, and she dies through the box. Lori another on that lurk, and Rise still a factor in short. She drops the spike in the molly. Naomi spraying, but still lives through it. Naomi TP's away. Lori needs this spike, and now she needs a 1v2 clutch. Has the first. Now it's just a 1v1 Steph. The paint shell's up. Good tap on the spike. She's not ready for it, but she finds the adjustment. Lori, my God.
What is there to say when a player really pops off like that? Lori doing so much work. I think that paint shell at the end is really key. It forced Naomi to have to kind of take this duel, which she didn't have to otherwise. So winning that 1v1 from Lori, actually it was a 1v2 because there was also another player from CLG Red alive at that time. So CLG Red kind of losing not only the momentum, but 4 rounds in a row. And they now have to save. We have 3 futures and just not a good place to be for CLG Red after being so dominant earlier in this match.
Yeah, they seem to have lost that momentum. And like you mentioned, Lori, she seems to be the one finding a lot of that. Just so explosive, so dangerous in any situation with this raise. Diane has a molly, but won't remove Naomi. She's just dodging all the utility here.
Right.
I'm not sure if they'll check her on the exec. Out comes the Moon Raccoons. Onto the site, one an elbow. There's the tripwire, but Naomi can't find the shot. Animal has a Bucky in the back, though. It's still not working out. However, there's still some players alive, and while it's a little bit rough, the Moon Raccoons do find all the necessary frags. Leave those on a flank. CLG keeps doing this. Thus far, it's worked somewhat. However, Benita would need something big here. Now it's just her. Her position revealed with the recon dart. She wants to take a fight from range, but Lori, again, another 3K for Lori on the raise. She's popping off right now, Steph.
She is, and it seems like Moon Raccoon is really caught on Naomi's positioning as well as the way she's been playing it. Because although they missed the molly as well as the Hunter's Fury onto her in that corner, like if you look at the scoreboard here, Naomi is standing at 4 kills, and she's really been struggling with every time they've been coming B or just coming in her way. And it's unfortunate because earlier, especially that pistol or work and her positioning on the traps was just phenomenal. But last round of this first half, we might have a 6-6 here.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. CLG, I mean, they need another round here. They really want it. Eyes revealed here. There's not a Hunter's Fury to be a threat. But again, Diane, she keeps having this ult up and she keeps pushing in with it. Space created for the team. But Naomi has a great spot here, holding on to hookah control. This might force the disengage, and it will. CLG on the rotate towards A. But look where Chobo is. A great spot, but how does she not find a frag there? That is a killing blow to CLG as they find themselves in a disadvantage, and I don't think you can even res that position. However, still, flank a factor. Benita on the site. It's one, however, the trade immediately there. Watch Naomi, though. When will she strike on the flank? Now, but Flowerful's alarm bot saves her. To a 2-on-2 now. Even odds. Resurrection for CLG. MRB, they're holding tight for the moment. No spike to work with. That's the advantage that CLG holds. Lockdown in play here. They're slowly sneaking in towards the lamp
30
side.
seconds
Flowerful
left.
could have a timing on Rise, especially if she's smoking, but she's actually using the ult here. They either have to fight or push all the way into defender-sided spawn. CLG has to make a decision here. They're looking like they want to fight this. Keep pushing up, but the recon's good. No shots, though. And now it's just Flowerful. They know where she is. She only has 10 seconds. She needs the kills at this point, but can't muster. The double set up for CLG. Finds them 7.
Interesting round here for both teams, actually. I'm not liking the end of these chaotic round where CLG is losing all of their 1 versus 1 and really allowing Raccoon to just not be in situations where they can trade. So CLG not doing their crossfire that they were doing it earlier, not really playing together as a team and really just being in positions to just get none and die. Is the worst case scenario for a defender, but still CLG is gonna get the last round, so it's not gonna be a 6-6, it's gonna be a 7-5. But it started so well for CLG that you kind of have to give props to Raccoon for adapting that fast into this half and being able to even have 5 here after being so far behind is kind of a feat of itself.
I mean, yeah, they won all 5 rounds on a row.
Yeah.
They looked unstoppable for a second there.
Yeah, look, that's what's going on here on Raccoon. Just a little bit of a jiggle in the corner. That's what you like to see when your players are having fun. This is me. If you have fun in the server, there's more chances you're gonna win. Let me tell you that. So they're probably really happy of the small comeback that they've done, and it's
Why was
it's looking
Flowerful not invited? You kind of feel bad for her. She's all the way on the other side.
She plays through
poor
her
Flowerful.
abilities. So I have to assume they're going to go for an aggressive A play here.
Yeah, it looks like they want to push up, judging by at least where they're postured on the mini-map. And I mean, I want to talk about how good that half is for Raccoons, because they recovered from such heavy momentum and they swung it directly into their favor. And on a map like Bind, where it's so momentum-based, if they get rolling on this defender side, especially with their history on Bind, how good they've been on it, this is a scary spot for CLG. I think, though, if they pick up the pistol, if they start the momentum that we saw in the last half early on, that could be great for them.
It could be, but I was talking about Naomi. I know stats don't matter, guys. I'm the first person to tell you so. But we also have Panini on to the Raccoon is a little bit behind with 2 kills. And as I said, we're going to be ready for half number 2. And Diana is going to be the one making the play here as Raccoon is all the way up close to the attacker's spawn already.
Yeah, and they have a great flank coming through on this shower setup. A ton of players. Animal wants to wall herself into the site. And they could even TP here, take it over elsewhere, but they have great A control for now. So they'll stick it through. Actually, no, a fake on the spike, now a teleportation, and they will commit to it. So now comes Flowerful, trundling her way back over. We see one on the lurk in the teleport. Flowerful, though, she's the one player on this site, and in her situation, she can't really fight here. She's relegated to play retake, but look where Benita is, directly behind her, on a huge flank, and it'll capitalize. This round has been so chaotic. Where is anyone in this? Benita spots out 2, looking for another fight, but they narrowly tuck in behind the wall. Rise ready with a paranoia. And everyone from CLG start to make their way in here. Benita, though, going big, and Rise to finish it up.
Yeah, it was a little dangerous for me when Benito was fighting. I'm like, please don't throw this round. But I have to give props to CLG here for adjusting so well. That wall from Animal in bathrooms, as soon as they heard that push. Not sure how they got the intel, but as soon as they heard it, they were like, let's run, let's stake A. That was the key. They killed that player all by themselves. And then they took the teleport. 100% right calls all across this round. And, you know, looking good for CLG. As you see, 4 of their players are sitting at 13 kills. That cracks me up when that things happens. I'm a sucker for these little things.
You love it.
You know, when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kills. Oh, that's the best.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm a sucker for like the little dances to get yourself hyped up. I'm still, I think that if Raccoons win it, that's definitely the cause for them.
Yep. But this round is being taken really slow. Now we're just gathering some intel here with 3 players from Raccoon trying to get a pick out of her. The rest of CLG, though, walking towards Octagon and getting ready to jump into the side. Chobo is going to get two with a pistol of her own.
Enemy remaining.
CLG is going to get, I don't want to say free bomb site because they're killing everyone, but it looked pretty free, you know, because they just were able to clean it up. Trades, clearing their corners, and only 1 casualties into this round.
This is what I was kind of talking about, in that if CLG picks up the pistol, they convert, which they did in the first one. So now they've won both pistol rounds, Steph. They could set themselves up good, because Moon Raccoons, they still have a pretty good scoreline to work with, but if CLG builds the same momentum, they found 6 rounds in a row off the trot, the game's just over at that point. CLG just wins. Moon Raccoons, they need to hit stride earlier. They can't wait to wake up.
You don't want CLG to get to double digit here as they are of the breach of 10 rounds in, and it's gonna be a Roomba battle.
Down B.
Yeah.
And where did Animal fell here? Did she fall towards B?
Yeah, it looks.
CLG was getting ready
I think
for
it was a
explode,
peek towards long. I think she was
Okay.
she was up a little earlier. Died towards long. That's a good advantage for the Moon Raccoons to find. And now CLG, they still want to double down onto this B site. You see Killjoy set up, ETConnect here as well. So it looks like the Moon Raccoons will be comfortable playing retake if B's the committal. Never rotates are through, support in. They still have one on the lurk towards a short. And they're second guessing where the committal is. Seems so is CLG. They'll disengage, cut noise for a moment.
Benita is just going to be entering here, walking in, trying to tell her team what's up. They're just going to follow, actually. So let's see if they can take back call. She's going to fall. Weird situation here for CLG to be in. They just started running. 30 seconds left. Spike not planted.
And Spike could go down right here, and it will. And that's it. That's flawless for the Moon Raccoons. That was such a weird round, Steph.
It was. I'm not quite sure. I like how CLG was trying to retake backhaul, but when Benita started running, she wasn't able to get traded. She was so far above, in front of all of her friends. So I think the intention was good. I think the execution was a little bit off.
Paranoia. They could have used that too. So
yeah, exactly. So, you know, but fortunately for CLG, it still means that they can buy in almost a perfect buy. Only Shoba and Benita are not going to be able to get that extra armor. But it's a good comforting round if you're Maroon. If you're Moon Raccoon.
Maroon! Oh no, we talked about this. We already talked about this and it still happens. Oh no. Alright.
You know, they were giving me
That's your one Maroon.
Dancing. You know, that's why.
That's your one Maroon 5
Okay.
you're allowed throughout the series. We're kicking you off if there's another Maroon 5.
Okay.
But I love this setup in showers from Diane. She'll have the flash to initiate off contact from Lori. There's a dink, but no connection. Gonna be happy if you're Animal to stay alive in that one. Still utility getting reined in towards Naomi. She has to use both cages. At least bait getting out, but look where Benita is. She found a great timing up close. Diane's still fighting here, and so is Lori for one. So this is another strange one. Out onto the site. Chobo, good for one. She wants to fight Showers, has to get rid of the player that's in here, but look at where Diane is. She's stuck in, and she's taken care of with the showstopper. Now it's a 2v2. Spike on the floor, but the forces of the Moon Raccoons are late on the rotate. CLG, I mean, they could commit here. They could take Telly. They have a lot of stuff to work with, but still only 30 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, and it's been a great round for both teams, actually. Everybody's kind of reacting perfectly to each other, but in the end, I have to favor CLG in that retake. If they can keep control of that area where Shobo is, that you all would rise. Actually, we're just gonna see the action right away.
Yeah, out comes a hit, and ETConnect Han. She will just find both. What a huge play from the Sova to now be able to get the defuse through, and that's so crucial for the Moon Raccoons. But what's up with these rounds? The timing is the position. It all feels like kind of backwards, at least for the last two.
This is a really strange round where defending players were kind of attacking and attackers kind of holding. But I think it all was played in that 2 versus 2. Unfortunately, I don't think Rise should have swung like that. She kind of gave her life away when Shobo was trying to do a bait and switch. Rise swinging was kind of killed the crossfire here and kind of gave ETConnect Han a free double if she just aims right. So CLG is gonna be on a pistol round here. It's still not too much to be worried for CLG, but it definitely is a comfortable situation, non-comfortable situations to be in, guys. They're not really connecting with these rounds.
Yeah, but look, they just kind of contacted up into the site. They're going to be able to find the spike plant with the wall, and they're pushing out into the back lines. Naomi gets one. That's a gun they can pick up, but Lori's on the case, wants to deny that. However, the post plant setup now for CLG is pretty solid. One's starting to lurk in towards showers, and Diane might be ready for it. Perfect. That's Benita taken care of. Now I'll run it back on the cards, and she'll use it, pushing out into the site. The blind through, Animal ready with the frenzy, close left. And it's trades back and forth on the site. Animal's still trying to fight the great blast pack there. It will be the Moon Raccoons to find the anti-eco, but it's not really a clean one. Especially with a rocket.
Yeah, it's so not clean that I thought at some point it could have went CLG's ways. If Annie connects here with that kill, I think it's a completely different round. But unfortunately, she was just a little off the headshot. And CLG, though, I like this round for them. It was a good spike plant. It was a good post plant with only pistols. And the UI has been a little bit weak here from Moon Raccoon. The round before that, Benita was able to walk in for free, not spotted, getting a kill behind that tank. And once again, CLG was just like, you know what? We're getting that spot for free, so let's just go with that save round the same way. And it worked out. So I like that double stack here from Moon Raccoon. They're like, we can't do this again. And now we have Diana and Panini holding that position.
Yeah, it looks like a setup for a paranoia here off the rip. It feels like CLG has been winning the information game thus far. It'll be interesting if they can continue, but look where Rise is. This is not a good spot for her. Diane ready, and now the flash up. That curveball will show her that A site's clear for the moment. Now the suspicions will start to rise for the Moon Raccoons as to where CLG are. They're up towards long. That bot will reveal if they push deep into sight, and Flowerful's ready for a swing. Notice one is in hookah, or up elsewhere, wall off. So Flowerful can't fight. They have an ult for the retake here. It looks like it's going to be attempted to be used. Spike coming down. And there's Fury in play. They can cancel that out, and here it comes.
Yeah, Benita trying to cancel that Killjoy lockdown and successfully does so, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she will take care of it. So now this retake has to come in full force. The Moon Raccoons, they have a drone to play off of, and they'll use that to initiate out. They're not pushing. Two players shown. Here comes the swing from Flowerful to pick up two. Now it's just Chobo, and she is very, very late to the party, stuck on a lurk gone wrong. The shock dart will do her in.
Amazing retake here from Moon Raccoon. Not only is it flawless, it looked flawless as well. The way that everything happened after that wall from Animal at backall, I really was like, okay, like just we're gonna have to give it up. But I don't know if it was the drone entering, giving so much intel, and utilizing that by pushing backall and getting the kill on Naomi, and everything after that was like collapsing. It was like a castle of cards. Soon as Naomi fell, everybody died, and Shobo was just so far to support the team that she wasn't able to get there in time. And also, I don't think she expected everyone to fall so fast. So CLG Red just not finding any answer on their attacking side. And as I'm looking at the timer here, it looks like we're on a pause. So I assume this is CLG Red tactical pause, and they're trying to see, okay, what has been working or not. But Mimi, the Rice teleport here, although the intel was that they've been giving up U-Wall and it's been pretty easy to get there, I think it was a crazy play. Like trying to teleport into that corner in U-Wall. You know.
That's one that you kind of want to forget about if you're Rise, because yeah, they haven't been playing it, but it's also been an issue. So why wouldn't they have adjusted? Just that misread kind of cost them the round early on. Made it there. We see the farm for the ult immediately, but Chobo's pushing in, and again the player in close, Diane, is ready to hit it. Great paranoia. Lori swinging out. It's an execution as the Moon Raccoons are killing everyone, but Naomi still has a stinger. She's managing some frags, and she'll shut that down.
And I mean, once Shobo jumps in, your team has to be ready to trade her that. She's doing all the spacing and all the kind of sacrifice that a race should be able to do. She got there, and it was a struggle for that defender to get the kill down. So at that point, someone needs to swing and support her. But all of CLG Red was looking towards the right. No one was ready to trade her. And that's really puzzling to me, because that's back-to-back the same position that the player on Moon Raccoon was at. So if you focus on that choke point the next time and you clear that, CLG Red would have gotten a double pretty easily.
Yeah, It would have. Now it's dire straits for CLG. They were up heavily at the half, and now they've been pushed down around. MRB in double digits. Again, they're attempting a Chobo ready on the push. Lori still holding this area that she's so good at. Hunter's Fury up for Lori, doing something across. I don't think there's a connection just yet. That's at least a tag. Information transferred over, but the heal's ready. So for CLG Red, they're chilling out. They're waiting a moment, but MRB, they don't seem to be falling for this yet. There's already a rotation coming in, and that info ult right behind them, did it see anyone? I think it saw at least 2. So that's good information. That means that Moon Raccoons could stay here, but I don't know if it did. They might be rotating. They might be second-guessing here. Panini, though, ready and close. She hears one. That's Chobo. That's a crucial kill for the Raccoons. Now the Resurrection into play. Lori in the backside. Recon up, trying to spam through. Bonita, though, fighting on the site, gets one. That's a Sova. Traded out, but she's very, very low here. A little bit of damage could do it, and Lori might just be that. Chobo, though, it's a trade out. Run it back on the retake here. And the remainder of MRB getting ready. Here comes the run it back, Panini. And Animal, she's the one player on site, and she doesn't really have support. Has to go big here. Gets one, but the trade's good from Panini. Just Chobo now. In the back line, dark cover to block her. Spam is in. Panini's ready. They're holding this. Everything keeping her away. And Moon Raccoons, they'll just stick it through. Chobo can't do anything.
You know how we talked about earlier in this game where Moon Raccoon was kind of stiff and not playing their game? The roles has been completely reversed here. It feels like CLG Red is doubting. Panini was able to stay in U-Wall the whole round. She got a kill. She was able to fall back. Then the wall was put up by Sage, and then no one ever flushed her out. So Moon Raccoon has so much room in map control here. CLG is not even... Yeah, once they get into the site, they can plant, but they have no control at all. Moon Raccoon is not getting challenged deep, not once into every time that the spike has been planted. So this is the worst case scenario for CLG here to be in.
Yeah, it really is. Remember what we said in the pregame, that this is a map they wanted to come to. We thought they'd have something ready, but so far the Moon Raccoons, they still seem to be coming out on top. Diane's ready. This is a flash setup. Out will come the swing. 3 blind. It's a shooting gallery. Still only the trades through. Naomi 2. Now Chobo has the showstopper up and available to create some space onto the site. It will do great damage onto It Not Han. So MRB, the push gone wrong. Puts him at a disadvantage, but look where Lori is. Great spot, but flubs the line for a moment. Now she's wary of the positioning of Rise. Rise shows herself. And this is a fight Lori has to win if she wants a chance here. Rise is doing the right thing. She's falling away, disengaging. Out comes the peak. Almost the adjustment for 2. It was the ding. Still not enough. And It Not Han, she's so low. She might just be deciding to fall away here. Hold on to the weapon in the 1v3.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the economy is looking at for Moon Raccoon, but definitely CLG's economy is not good. So if I have to assume with the info that I have right now, the Moon Raccoon's economy is not good, or else she would have tried to get at least 1 or 2 kills to really break CLG or do as much damage as they can. But, you know, in that chaos earlier into this half or into this game, we saw Moon Raccoon come out on top of the chaotic rounds. But this is for the first time CLG Red successfully trading and communicating and not getting caught off guard. I have to say that Chobo coming out of that teleport got really lucky not falling. And Rise also getting away with her life during that chaos. This is not clean, Mimi. This is definitely not the best case scenario for CLG Red to be in. Yes, they're winning this round, but it doesn't give them any intel what to do next one. What do you do next round if you're CLG Red looking at this round? I don't know. It kind of just happened. They got lucky that they get these 2 kills towards long. And with Naomi getting both, because all 3 players were blinded by that Phoenix, it could have been pretty dangerous.
I mean, it really could have. If she hadn't found that there, the round could have been lost. That could have been match point. That very well could have been the game. But just by a little bit of luck and then the conversion throughout CLG, they keep in this, they keep fighting. They finally break the momentum with how streaky this game's been. I mean, like you were mentioning, MRB, they can still buy in. They still have money. CLG has to win another round. They have to keep going if they want to break this. And look how much the Moon Raccoons are farming their ults. Flowerful is just one off of her lockdown there. But here comes CLG. They're pushing out onto the site. This is a lot quicker. A change of pace. And they're electing for the retake for now. Animal has the plant coming in. Spam won't connect. So 5v5 on the retake is on the cards here. Diane, she finds that first one onto Chobo. Bonita trying to drone through because they know they need a kill, an advantage in this. Now the showstopper's up, Op coming into some play, looking for a shot every second will favor CLG. The paranoia's up. One in hookah, but the spam so good from Diane. Animal in close, and Octagon wants a fight. It's chaos on the site, but Diane is finding every frag needed for CLG. Now there's just a couple left alive on the cards. Rise good for 1, but Diane for 4, almost the ace, and it's match point. Moon Raccoons.
Match point, and I really like what CLG did here. That fast spacing environment was stellar, but Moon Raccoon is not giving anything in these bomb side. They're playing for the retakes every single round. CLG is not able to keep it. Look at the amount of time the spike was planted onto the second half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times that CLG Red was not able to close these rounds. So they're just not able to counter Moon's Raccoons utility usage and the way they're getting these kills, and they're scraping one by one that retake of that spike plant. So at this point, CLG Red is getting to the site. They just can't. They're scared to get that control I'm talking about. They're scared to get behind enemy lines. Shobo falling is really gonna hurt CLG's try here at staying into this game.
They don't have a resurrection available. 2 off. She'd have to find something if she wants to bring her teammate back into this. Moon Raccoons, I mean, look what they have to work with. 2 ults. Great positioning. Their retakes have been stellar. Now it's been made even easier with the low buy. Bonita breaks the turret, finds some info, but nothing still yet. CLG, they need a freebie here. They need an easy way in. And the Moon Raccoons are not giving that away. They play so passive.
They're not at all. If you're looking at this, Bonita is in the site, and she's, you know, Flowerful is waiting for her. She knows she's going to be challenged, and they're just ready for anything, and they're just giving up. Their retake has been working, so why even fight that bomb site? You know, that paranoia is not even going to connect with the Flowerful, so she's just able to keep that control. But at least this time, CLG is trying to switch it up. At least this time, they're trying to take more control of the map before retreating into a post-plant situation.
Yeah, CLG, they're holding on to elbow control. They know Flowerful has this. The Owl Drone will show this setup. Flowerful, if she dies here, it's huge, but she won't. Now that lockdown can come into play, and CLG only has 3 members standing. Another frag's in, but it's a trade through. Naomi has to get rid of this, finds 1 frag, and can lose it now, but it has to just be her. Blinded up by the paranoia. Diane holding down for the moment, and they're looking for the fight. Naomi now swung out, has to take this, has to win this, and she can't. The Moon Raccoons, 13-10 on map 1.
13-10, and so far CLG losing again to Moon Raccoon on Bond. This is not a good look for CLG Red. Although it started so good, Moon Raccoon's momentum here into after the first 6th round really has never been disrupted. You know, CLG was never able to kind of come back into the kind of well-oiled machine that they were. They were trading so well earlier into this game. And although you can also say that Moon Raccoon was not playing that well, as soon as they started playing well, CLG just wasn't ready for it. I'm still very impressed with the way Moon Raccoon was able to bounce back and running away with map number 1 on Bind. And we mentioned how scary that was. If Moon Raccoon was able to win CLG's Bind left off, or let a bit of a mistake that they didn't. Well, I don't know if it's a mistake. It might have been a strategy like we talked, but leaving Bind open for Moon Raccoon to take, and it's exactly what history is showing us today.
I mean, yeah, this is a really tough digs for CLG, because now they're going into where the Moon Raccoons wanted to take them, into map 2, where they're going to find themselves probably in the advantage even more. This could very possibly be a Moon Raccoon 2-0 if they keep the momentum up. We will have to find out after the break. We'll be right back in a moment.